Welcome back to the Choosing Gnome podcast. I am Laura Catherine Etheridge, and we are going to pick right back up where we left off. So I know last week we were talking about the idea of the container into which abundant life is supposed to fit, and where it goes, and what does Jesus put that into. And we're going to pick up again there. Hopefully you've had some time this week to think about that, to maybe even begin to make notes about that. What you're going to see over time as you do that is your learning that develops, and it really is a help to us. They don't have to be crazy, wild, and extensive. Some people love to do longhand notes and journal things out. Some people it's just bullet points. I know a number of years ago I really shifted to bullet points, and that's really worked for me. So just jot down things. It might be 2 bullet points. It might be 15. But just jot down your thoughts, because they're going to grow over time. So hopefully you've had a chance to do that over the last week, and to begin to notice, where am I on my 1 to 10 scale of abundant life? What would I say is maybe filling up part of who I am today, that is creating the life level that I have? And hopefully that's something that you've processed some on over the last week. So we're going to pick back up there again today, and we're going to dive into a little bit more detail when it comes to the idea of the container of abundant life. So just to reference where we were, I know last time we looked at this together, and this is the idea of the human components and the various parts of who we are that Jesus is going to help us have abundant life in. If that's something that we desire, we want to take him up on his words. These are the various parts of who we are. These are the various places where that abundant life can go and be poured into. And we looked at this at a high level last week. This week, what we want to do is dive into those various areas, starting with the heart. And so that's what we're going to spend today's podcast on. We'll begin to look at the various other areas over the next few weeks, but today we're going to look at the idea of the heart. And so what is the heart? The heart is my will. It's my will. The thing that says, I want that, I don't want that. The heart is my will. The part of me that says, I'm interested in this, I agree with this, I don't agree with this, I want this, I don't want that. This is the idea of my will. And so it is, we could also think of it as maybe being the selector tool that is inside of us that is agreeing to something or not. So this can be a good image for us if we think about the heart and that part of the human component to who we are. We have all of these various options, and the heart is the part of us that picks. So as it says here on the slide, in this slide, all of these will be out there for you always on choosinggnome.com in the resources tab. So the heart, we see here, it is the selector part of us. It's the chooser, the picker, the decider. And so as we see here at the bottom of the slide, it's designed to decide upon an option. That's what our heart does. It's something that helps us select and decide. And there are a few other pieces here I want to share regarding the heart. And so it's also the part of us that would be where our beliefs are stored. So where do those live inside of us? Because the beliefs are a library of things that we've picked and decided. So we could put that image in our head, this giant library that's inside of us that we have selected and picked over time, just like we would any kind of a library or a collection. We have the things that we have kept and chosen to keep. And so our heart is also that. It's the thing that helps us keep choosing and picking. And it's also this place where these various things we've chosen and we've picked part of where they live. So it's like a giant library inside of us. We could also think of it as being the place where things have gelled. So beliefs are thoughts that we've had or things that have been interesting to us. And when they get to the heart is that part that says, that one, like we just saw on that slide. That I agree with that. I believe that. I think so. Yes. And so at that point, it gels and it becomes this thing that I believe and I store in my library of various beliefs. And so we have all of these beliefs in our heart because it is the will part of us. It's the choosing part of us. And many times, of course, in our culture, we think of the idea of feelings and emotions being associated with the heart. And that is true. So the feelings and the emotions are in the heart. They're also there. Things that we feel, emotions that would come up, emotions as we consider things, consider selecting things. There's going to be a swirl of emotion around most of those things if they really matter to us, whether it's work or family or our life or our walk with the Lord, whatever it may be. Usually we're going to have emotions. And one thing we want to really learn, though, is that what we believe significantly dictates my feelings and my emotions. So it took me a while to realize that. I think to me, it was like the heart was just this place where, I don't know, almost like little fireflies, these emotions all flutter and they're all around, they're there and we feel them. That's true, they are, but the things that I believe are also really impacting and dictating the emotions and the feelings that I'm having. So emotions, one thing we can think about is my emotions and my feelings are going to help me understand what I believe. What do I believe? What are the various library of choices and beliefs that I have and that I hold? And our emotions can help us to see those and to begin to understand more about those as we pay attention to them. And we may ask ourselves a question like, why do I feel that about this decision? Or when my boss said that to me, whoa, what were those emotions that showed up inside of me? Or when my friend gave me that compliment this week. Interesting. What were the various feelings? What were the various emotions that showed up for me? And so our beliefs, the things that matter to us, the things that we have come to agree with, they are surrounded usually by emotions. They're surrounded by feelings. So I was trying to think about what would be a very good image to share with all of you around this, something that really kind of puts that in our head, because we do want to really understand what is that heart part of us, and we want it to gel, and it is this multifaceted piece. So the thing that popped in my head the most was the idea of a shoe. And shoes, we know they go on the feet, and hopefully, and we wear them and they go with us where we take our feet, where our feet choose to walk. The shoe goes as well. And the shoe is covering the foot. It is not the foot, but it does cover the foot. It goes with the foot. It's going to be around the foot. And that can be a very good thing for us to use as a way of remembering the idea of emotions and beliefs. So the belief would represent the foot. Here's what I've come to agree with. My will has been engaged. I agree with this. So this is my belief. And then around that belief, I'm going to have emotions and feelings. And those might be really bad ones in some circumstances. They might also be really, really good ones, really happy feelings, really happy emotions, but they surround it. They surround our beliefs. And so we want to notice, because if we think about wearing shoes, a lot of times I can't see my feet because of the shoes. I have these shoes on, so I can't see the foot itself. But we do want to start thinking about, wait a minute, what's inside of those feelings? What's inside of those emotions? What are those emotions around? What are they covering? What is that showing me? What does that tell me about what I believe? What I feel is important to me? What does that say to me? And so they both live there together. We want to know that about the heart. And when Jesus says in John 10:10, we'll keep coming back to that verse, I came that you may have life and you may have it abundantly. He wants us to have life in our heart, abundant life in our heart. And when we think about it with what we just talked about, he wants us to then have abundant life in what we believe, the library of what we have come to believe, because all of us, back to something we talked about last time, we already are filled up with something. So we already have a whole library inside of us of beliefs. And he wants us to have abundant life in our beliefs, in the things that we have been believing. He also wants us to have abundant life in the current. So what I'm choosing, what I'm picking, what I'm willing. So I want to have abundant life in, yes, the things of the past, the beliefs. He wants to give me abundant life in all of those. He also wants to give me abundant life in the present, in what I'm picking and what I'm choosing and what I'm willing. And he wants me to have abundant life also because feelings are around, emotion and feelings are around the things that we believe. He wants us to have abundant life in our emotions and in our feelings. That's a desire that he has for us, and it's a promise that he gives to us, and we can have it. And I won't go into detail today, but I can definitely say there have been things in present life and things in past life where the emotions that I had there were anything but abundant life emotions. They were very dark, they were depressing, they brought all the emotions I didn't want to feel, and they are now different because Jesus can change everything. And he does change everything as we give him more and more access to do so. And so he can make those things be different for us. And I just want to say, I know that partly because his word says it, and I know it because I've experienced it. So if you are someone who you're thinking about probably some things showing up right now, maybe that, ooh, I don't know if he can change how I feel about this current circumstance in my life, or this thing in the past that happened in my life and how I feel, he can. He can. It takes some learning. It definitely is going to take some learning to know how that happens. That doesn't happen usually instantly, like I talked about in last episode. I used to think it would just happen to me. All of a sudden I'll have abundant life and I'll feel totally differently. My emotions will change, and that has not happened. But as the beliefs have changed, that's part of why we want to read his word and know his word. As my beliefs have changed, so have the emotions around those beliefs in current things in my life and in past things. The library of my beliefs, they have changed. So let's get practical. We have another week ahead. We want to continue to learn and apply this. So wherever you're keeping your notes, and I do want to point that out again and encourage you, have a place you do that. It'll really help you in your walk with the Lord. I forget what book it comes from, but it's the idea of an external brain, having a place that we keep track of things that matter to us. So have that place, and in that place, go ahead and begin to give yourself a 1 to 10 rating, just for you and the Lord to think about together and to consider. With my heart, my beliefs, my emotions, my feelings, what would I say is my 1 to 10 score on average most days Where is my resting score? Where's that average score? Where does it sit for me when it comes to abundant life and feeling and emotion, and therefore connected with my beliefs? And if you want to dig a little deeper, begin to consider, as you just notice and you're curious and you watch this week, what's going on under those emotions and those feelings? What's inside of them? What are they encapsulating? What's under all of that? And just make a note of them. Don't necessarily try to fix them. Don't necessarily try to change them. A lot of times we go real big and we freak ourselves out. And so it's good to just start to ponder them and think about them and notice them. What are they indicating to me? What are they telling me? What's maybe under there? And what does that information give me? So just make a note of that, journal about it, put your thoughts down. And like I said last time, and probably will say often, remember to rely on the Holy Spirit. You know, we can go into those ourselves. We can start noticing them. Often that'll even make us a little bit afraid, maybe a lot afraid. Like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to start thinking about what's behind those things or under those things. Or we start going there and we get a little nervous. But ask the Lord to help illuminate those for you. Ask Him to teach you about what is inside of these emotions and these feelings. What are the beliefs that I'm holding? What's going on in my heart? How come I don't have abundant life? And ask Him to illuminate that and let His Holy Spirit begin to show you what is inside right now. And then we're going to talk more in the coming episodes about how do we begin to see those replaced. But we want to have a sense of what's in there, because great quote, I don't know right now where it came from, but the idea of adults learn on a need-to-know basis. If they don't think they need to know, they don't learn. And if we don't sometimes take stock of the level of abundant life we have and become unsatisfied with it, then why would we change? What's the point? And so when we are looking at it, we want to begin to look at it and go, you know, how happy am I really? How content am I? What is my 1 to 10 score? And what's inside of me right now that's producing that being the score for me? And as we know more about that, sometimes that creates inside of us more of a desire for His words and learning from Him about how do I have abundant life in my heart. In this case, how do I have abundant life in my heart? So I'll leave you with that this week to think about and to consider and begin to ponder with Him and rely on Him. Rely on Him this week. Don't rely on you. Engage yourself. Choose to will it. You know, you have a will in your heart, and so choose that. Tell Him you want that, but then rely on Him to really begin to illuminate that and just begin to let Him show you, and you make note of it as He does. So I will leave you with that. I trust you'll have a really great week and look forward to talking with you next time.